You can start now.
Okay. The Unanimous Declaration of the 13th United States of America. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal state to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires. Of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation we hold.
Oh, we're
these
just reading out the
truths to be
Declaration of
self-evident,
Independence now.
that all men are created equal, and that all are endowed by their Creator with certain rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just power from the consent of the governed, that whether any form of the government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to distribute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its power in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be charged for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shewn that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing invariably the same object evidences a design to reduce them under absolute despotism. I scrolled down. Oh god, there's so much. Oh, where was I?
Here.
It is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such it is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having indirect objects the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be... oh god. Let facts be submitted to a candid world. He has refused his assent to laws, the most wholesome and necessary of the public good. He has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance unless suspended in their operations till his assent should be obtained, and when so suspended he has utterly neglected to attend to them. He has refused to pass on other laws so that the accommodation of large districts of people, unless those people who...
Is anyone recording this by any chance?
I am. The right
Yay!
of representation in the legislature, a right insubmittable to them and formidable to tyrants. Only he has called together legislative bodies at places unusual, uncomfortable, and distant from the depository of the Republic records, for the sole purpose of fatiguing them unto compliance with his measures.
Compliance.
I'm sorry. He has his
You're
own
not
legislative
American.
houses repeatedly for
You cannot be American.
scroll down.
Oh yeah. wait, where's
opposing
the
with
where was
manly
before?
firmness his invasions on the rights of the people, he has refused for a long time, after such dissolutions, to cause others to be elected, whereby the legislative powers incapable of annihilation have returned to the people at large for their exercise, the state remaining in the meantime exposed to all the dangers of invasion from without and convolutions within. He has endeavored
Never.
to prevent the population of these states for the purpose of obstructing the laws, for naturalizing of foreigners, refusing to pass
That was such an odd cat.
foreigners, refusing to pass others to encourage their migration hither, and raising the conditions of new appropriations of lands. He has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing his assent to laws for establishing judiciary powers. He has made judges dependent on his will alone for the tenure of their offices and the amount of payment of their salaries. He has erected a multitude of new offices and sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people and eat out their substances. He has kept among us in times standing armies without the
Among Us
consent
in the
of our
Declaration of
legislators.
Independence.
He has effected to render the military independent of and superior to the civil power. He has combined with others to subject his to a jurisdiction foreign to our constitution and unacknowledged by our laws, giving his assent to their acts of pretend legislation for quartering large bodies of armed troops among us, for protecting them by a mock trial from punishment for any murders which they should commit on the inhabitants of these states, for cutting off our trade with all parts of the world, for imposing taxes on us without our consent, for depriving us in many cases of the benefits of a trial by the jury, of transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offices, for abolishing the free system of English laws, and neighboring province establishing therein an arbitrary government and enlarging its boundaries, so as to render it at once an example and fit instrument for introducing the same absolute rules into these colonies, for taking away our charters, abolishing our most valuable laws, and altering fundamentally the forms of our governments, for suspending our own legislators and declaring themselves invested with powers for legislate for us in all cases. Whoso has abdicted a
You are not
government,
American.
hereby declaring us out of his protection, waging war against us. He has plundered our seas, ravaged our coasts, burned down towns, and destroyed the lives of our people. He is at this time transporting large armies of foreign mercenaries to complete the works of death, desolate and tyranny already begun, with circumstances of cruelty, perfidy scarcely paralleled in the most barbarous ages, and totally unworthy the head of the civilized nation. He has constrained our fellow citizens, taken captive on the high seas to bear arms against their country, to become the executioners of their friends and brethren, or to fall themselves by their hands. He has excited domestic insurrections amongst us, and has endeavored
Oh my god!
to bring on the inhabitants of our frontiers the merciless Indian savages, whose known rule of warfare is an undistinguished destruction of all ages, sexes, and conditions in every stage of these oppressions. We will We have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms of our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury. A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant as unfit to be the ruler of a free people, nor have we been waiting in attentions to our British brethren. We have warned them from time to time of attempts by their legislator to extend an unwarrantable jurisdiction over us. We have reminded them of the circumstances of our immigration and settlement here. We have appealed to their native justice and I need water. Magnanimity. And we have conjured them by the ties of our common kindred to dissolve these usurpations, which would inevitably interrupt our connections and correspondence. How much more is left? How much more? Okay. They too have been deaf to the voice of justice and of condescending, whatever that is. We must therefore acquiesce in the necessity which denounce our separation and hold them as we hold the rest of mankind, enemies in war and peace, friends. We therefore, the representatives of the United States of America in general, Congress assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the of our people intentions due in the name of the authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are and of right ought to be free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connections between them, the states of Great Britain, is and ought to be totally dissolved, and that as free and independent states they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and to do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do, and for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. Amen. I need water.
Congrats.
You made me laugh more than actual comedians.
What?
Alright.
What'd you say?
I swear to God,
You made me
did
laugh
you
more
know
than
I
actual
put the
comedians.
Churple's declaration in here.
This has all been recorded, by the way.
I just lost my bus clip.
It's
So-
and I
Holy
get
shit,
it
bro.
Cheese. You know what's better?
What
Doing
are
it
these
once.
sounds?
Do it twice. Come on, let's go again, buddy.
No, I'm not doing it.
We